Welcome to this Pure Storage and Cohesity integration demo. Here, I'm going to demonstrate all of the integration points and cover the different configuration items that are applicable between Pure Storage and Cohesity. Before I get into the configuration items, let me go over the infrastructure that I'm going to use in order to cover the functions as part of the integration. Let's take a look at the Pure Storage array, where I have a particular volume that is mapped to a vSphere infrastructure where there are a number of business critical applications that are currently being hosted on this volume. This is the volume that I'm going to use as part of the demonstration to do all the different configuration items that are available as part of the integration. We'll take a look at the vSphere infrastructure, which currently the volume is mapped onto. Here you can see that there's a number of folders, which means there's a number of virtual machines and applications that are currently hosted and running there. So we'll first start by registering the Pure Storage array as a source. This process is quite simple. Register source, select the Pure Storage array, provide the necessary credentials, and it shouldn't take much as long as we have those credentials handy. Once that's done, you can quickly identify the cluster source name. I'll dig into it, and you can clearly here see that there are a number of volumes which have been identified by Cohesity. And if I look at and search based on a filter on what volumes are protected by Cohesity, you can clearly see that there are none. And we're going to fix that. So here, let's create a protection job to protect that particular volume. We'll start by selecting a policy or creating a new one. A policy that is already available, designed specifically for these applications, has already been created. I will select it. I will proceed with the configuration. Here you'll provide a name and a description for the particular job. You'll select a view box, which defines the space efficiency features that you may want to apply in that particular logical container. And very important here, you can see the retention of the snapshots for the Pure Storage array. I'm selecting to retain all of them, basically offloading all the different snapshots from the Pure Storage array onto Cohesity. Now I decide to choose the particular object that I want to protect. I can very quickly search for that particular volume I'm interested in. Very quickly it comes up, we select it, and you hit next. So very quickly, that's basically it when it comes to adding the Pure Storage array as a source to Cohesity. Also adding or creating a protection job. Once the job is created, it runs. You can quickly see there how that kind of took place. You can look at the results and the information as to what transpired as the process went on. And you can see that the backup was completely and successfully done. Now, by backing up a volume, you're basically having all of the VMs and objects that are part of that particular volume being protected. To make matters worse, I want to basically destroy this volume without having to tell anybody or anyone in vSphere in order to simulate a catastrophe, which you saw there. If I come out to the vSphere infrastructure, you can see that there are 10 business critical applications that are still running, but the volume is inactive. Obviously, the VMs have to be turned off in order for them to sort of be removed from the inventory. I will proceed to do that. I will select all 10 VMs and act like, a catastrophe just happened. We turn them off, and we can quickly see that the virtual machines are inaccessible, right? So in order for me to recover all of these applications at the same time effectively, and even the actual volume itself, I have to remove them from the inventory. Once the virtual machines are removed from the inventory, at that point, the actual volume itself will disappear from vSphere, which will then let us sort of go through the process of recovering it. Notice that the volume is gone. So now this leads to going on to the Cohesity UI and performing the recovery of a volume. So to recover a volume, it's the same process we typically follow within the Cohesity platform, except that here you'll see that there's a Pure storage volume specifically. You provide the name of the search in the search area for the actual volume you're trying to recover. You provide the recovery location, which is going to be onto that same Pure cluster. You can also choose the pointing time in terms of the snapshots, depending on how many we're retaining. In this particular case, I'm going pretty quickly, so I didn't really have a lot of different snapshots taken based on the time the policy was configured for. Here you can see how the process transpires over time. And if we go back to the Pure array, you can see that this new volume, or this volume, was recovered, which obviously has the name that I provided within the Cohesity UI. But what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to rename it just for the purpose of being able to track it once I try to add it back onto vSphere. Here I proceed to connecting the volume onto a specific host that's part of that cluster. You can see how quickly that is within the very easy to use Pure user interface. When I look at the actual host, we'll look at the storage adapters. I'm communicating via iSCSI, so here I'm going to perform a rescan. And you can see how the device now is visible, is being presented to the host. So I should be able to add a data store so that I can proceed. So by going through the Add New Data Store within the vSphere UI, you can very quickly select VMFS. You can choose to provide a data store name if you choose to, depending on what the process is. It doesn't matter, but I actually here select the host, and there's that volume that I just recovered. In this case, we're going to assign a new signature. We will have to add the virtual machines into the inventory again, something that can be done very quickly with a Power CLI, for example, once the volume has been restored. And there you have it. Now you have all of those virtual machines, which were all recovered instantaneously, coming directly from the Pure storage array. That'll be it for now, and thank you for watching.